Now we will see, we have seen different types of fibers. Now what is the process? So it is converted from fiber, then it is converted into yarn, and looking forward, this yarn is converted into fabric. Then after this fabric is manufactured on the loom. Loom means either the shuttle loom or the shuttleless loom. So in whatever the loom that fabric is manufactured, these are further put into the treatments, means dyeing and printing is done. So if we talk about dyeing, तो dyeing में आप एक dye करते हो basically from natural dyes, or other is synthetic dyes. So if I talk about natural dyes including indigo and so on, so और अगर आप dyes का classify करते हो, then acid dyes, dispersed dyes, direct dyes, reactive dyes, azoic dyes, modern dyes, मेटल कॉम्प्लेक्स डाइज, दीज आर ऑल डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ डाइज. तो इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट क्या चीज़ हो जाती है, द डाई एंड द फाइबर कंपैटिबिलिटी इज इंपॉर्टेंट. यू शुड हैव टू रिमेंबर विच डाई इज सुटेबल फॉर विच टाइप ऑफ फाइबर, एंड सिमिलरली विच टाइप ऑफ प्रिंटिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस विच टाइप ऑफ फाइबर, एंड कौन सी मशीन पे इसको डाई करते हैं, कौन सी मशीन पे इनको प्रिंटिंग करते हैं. दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज फार एज योर बोथ द एग्जाम्स आर कंसर्न. देन फिनिशिंग ट्रीटमेंट करते हो आप. फिनिशिंग में आप you can do for flame retardant finishing, water repellent finishing, and other finishes including soil removal finishes you need to do, and antimicrobial finishes you do, and then finally the fabric is converted into ready. This is FRD. So you can see this is a spinning machines. And for talking about the cotton spinning diagram, so for cotton spinning diagram, this is a raw material, then it is converted, taken into blow room, then finally carding, draw frame, roving frame, ring frame, carded yarn it is formed. What is the difference between carding and combing? So basically carding means combed yarn is basically the feel and the softness properties is very much improved as far as combed yarn is concerned, whereas in carded yarns the feel and the softness is not that much as compared to that of the combed yarn. So these carded means from the fiber stage, ginning stage, seed coats, these are all the other impurities are removed, and finally these fibers are converted into carded form, and finally they are converted into yarn in the ring frame. So basically this is a whole, the yarn manufacturing process is a process for conversion from the fiber to the yarn stage. So the in this we will study in detail about all these parts, all the functioning of these, all these things. So this is very important. So blow room, if we talk about the basic functions of blow room, is opening, cleaning, blending and mixing. So this is the blow room line if you see. So this blow room line comprises of all these parts. Here the main part is the fiber that is coming from the ginning process. It is mixed, blended and then finally formed into a product that can be moved forward for the carding aspects. Here the individualization of the fibers occur, where also the cleaning and parallelization of the fibers occurs, and whereas the fiber from the carding the sliver is formed, which goes to the draw frame, ring frame and so on to the other processes further. So sliver formation is formed. You should have to remember this diagram as well. Whereas in the drawing aspect, if I talk about the drawing, blending, doubling and drafting is done. Drafting is done so as to reduce make the fiber more parallel, and these so as to improve the evenness, and other aspects for sliver for after the sliver formation. So this is a typical diagram of the drafting machine. It is done over simplex or a roving machine. So basically in drafting there are three different types of rollers. If I talk about, these are first front rollers and back rollers, whereas the fibers are the slivers are put in between these front rollers and back rollers. Here the drafting occurs. Drafting means they are stretched in such a way that the so as to make it more parallel and improve the evenness and other aspects. Whereas in roving frame, twisting and winding also occurs, as you can see here. Drafting and twisting can be done in either the direction, clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. You can see ring frame, it is a very, it is the it is also known as a very important aspects of the yarn manufacturing process. Here twisting, drafting and winding. So here it is wound onto a suitable package that can further be made for the weaving aspects. So this is the typical formation of a fiber man-made fiber manufacturing chart. So here the fiber is formed, then spinning, then stretching, then drying is done, then heat setting, and finally these are cut into these fibers. So in this there are different aspects of spinning process. Spinning means basically synthetic fibers are always spun because they are not man-made fibers. So basically there are three types of spinning process. One is melt spinning. Melt spinning you can do for nylon. Polyester you can do by melt spinning process, in which what is basically spinning process. In spinning process a polymer is converted into a fiber. So how these, because they are man-made fibers, so they are put into this spin rate and they are finally stretched given temperature, and by the artificial conditions they are converted into all these fibers kinds of thing. So how these man-made spinning technology occurs in melt spun fibers. You can see this these are melt spun things. Here you can see this is a spinneret. Here these are in molten form, and from here it is put, and then they are extruded by the extruder, and finally wound in onto the winding unit. Whereas in case of wet spinning, solvent and polymer are also put and dissolved in the spinning compounds. Whereas in dry spinning what happens is there is no use of solvent, and these are finally dried directly onto the finally onto the fiber aspects. So this is a typical difference of the different types of the spinning process that is being used for this thing. So you should also remember what is the basic difference, what is the spinning height. So these are all we will discuss in detail in our classes ahead. So just for the reference you can see these types of spinning process. So basically in dry jet wet spinning is basically it is a modified form of the wet spinning process. So there are some advanced fibers. If I talk about these high performance fibers such as Kevlar and Nomex, so these are manufactured by dry jet wet spinning process. So here this is similar to that of the uh, wet spinning process, but in this what happens is the spinneret is kept outside the coagulation bath. You can see this is the polymer, this is melt, and here this is the spinneret, and from here the fiber is put, and here from here it is taken out and then move forward. So basically you know that Kevlar and Nomex are high performance fibers. The temperature of these are highly temperature resistant, so as to make them more to improve the mechanical properties of these fibers, these are manufactured by dry jet wet spinning processes.